Hey there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. I'm going to be featuring products from Simon Says Stamp's new Dear Friend release, and in today's card I'm going to show you how to incorporate a clear element as an overlay on your card project. I've done this before in a couple of different ways in the past, so if you want to see some more ideas, I'm going to link a video in the top right corner for you to check out. That one was a lot of fun, and I'll also be linking some other ones throughout the video that you might want to check out too. The clear element on this card gives this beautiful design a very light and airy feel, very elegant, and I love the fact that the gold sentiment paired so beautifully with the design. Now just bear in mind that if you don't want to make a card with this sentiment, which is from the new Dear Friend release, you can use a different greeting to make the card whatever theme you want. So let's start by making our background. I'm going to take the Simon Says Stamp Stamp and Stencil mat to hold my card panel in place. This panel is the exact same size as an A2 card, which we'll be gluing on to later. So I'll line this up inside of the teal box that's perfectly sized for those dimensions. Then I'm going to attach my stencil off the side of the card, and this mat will hold it in place. Now I do have a little bit of my card showing on the left, so I want to cover that up with some tape so I don't get ink on it. I'm going to be using these three inks from Simon Says Stamp's Pawsitively Saturated Ink collection, and we're going to start off with Cheeky. This is a really nice blush color. It's very soft, and I thought these colors worked so well together in creating a very soft and elegant color palette. Taffy is the next color I worked with, and I am using the Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively Everything tool, that teal paw off on the right, to hold my ink pads in place as I'm ink blending. I'm also using Simon Says Stamp's large blending brushes to cover the area of the stencil quite quickly. Finally, I moved on to Amethyst, and that is my last color. I will kind of feather out some of that purple with the blush color to make sure everything's nice and evenly blended. Now we can remove the stencil and our paper from the mat. To remove it from the mat, you just fold the mat a little bit in half, and that'll pop the paper off very easily. The mat's really strong, so you don't have to worry about breaking it. I'm going to shake up some Distress Mica Stain from Tim Holtz. This is a gold color, and I'm going to splatter this across my card. Now you're going to notice I made two of these cards, so you might see a different pattern that's very similar to this stencil peeking in here and there throughout the project. I used both the BOHO circle and the Spring BOHO circle stencils from Simon Says Stamp. They aren't new, but they're some of my absolute favorite stencils from Simon. Now this die is new. This is So Happy For You. I die cut it from some gold cardstock, and then I'm also going to die cut it from some white. The gold and the white I'm going to stack together. I'm also going to die cut the new Modern Postage die from some vellum. Oscar, of course, had to jump in and see what was happening, as usual. He at first thought he was going to sit here, and I'm like, no, you got to keep moving. I'm trying to film. So he moved on, probably to go watch another bird, and I'm going to go ahead and start die cutting now. So once I die cut all of these pieces, I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp Pierce and Place tool to help me pop out all of these little negative pieces inside of my die cut. This tool has a really nice sharp tip on the end, which is perfect for doing all of that die weeding. We'll do this for both the gold and the white version of the sentiment, and then we'll move on to gluing them together. I just used some liquid glue to put little dots of glue here and there around the die cuts. I'm going to stack them together, and this is only a stack of 2 die cuts. So it's not super dimensional, it's not very bulky. I didn't want this card to be super bulky going through the mail. This greeting is going to get layered onto my die cut vellum piece. This is going to give a little bit of separation from the background and the sentiment, so that way the sentiment doesn't get lost. But this is going to sit on top of our clear element. This is where the fun part comes in. So I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Lightweight Acetate. This is the acetate you're going to want to use for this because it will be able to fold and score very easily. I've cut this acetate to 5.5 by 4 3/4, and then I'm going to use my Place and Score tool from Simon Says Stamp to score at 4 1/4. This way it'll be the exact same size as my card, but I'll have a little bit of overlap that I can use to attach to the back side. Now we're going to use our bone folder to burnish that fold just to make sure it's nice and crisp. Now we'll attach this onto our white card panel, and I'm going to use red line tape for this. This red line tape is really strong, so it's going to hold the acetate onto my card really well. So we'll just go ahead and run a line of this, use our scissors to trim it off, and then I will remove the release paper and butt this up right into that fold. Now I can take the other end of that acetate and fold it into the adhesive, and now we have this panel that is laying over top of our background, which looks so cool. And this is where we're going to glue our greeting panel onto. I'm using very small dots of glossy accents along the edges of my paper, just so that way it'll hold everything together, but you really won't notice that adhesive. And I'll just lay this right into the center of my card and press it down really well. Hold it for a minute so that way the glue has a chance to bond. And now we can just add a few embellishments to finish off the project. These sequins are from the new Peony sequin mix from Simon Says Stamp. I'm using glossy accents to attach them onto my card, and I'm using the place and score tool to help me get them there. And this is the set of 2 cards that I ended up creating. Again, one uses the BOHO circle and the other one uses the spring BOHO circle stencil. So we've got 2 different stencils here that created a very similar pattern and same look, but the cards turned out so pretty with that clear overlay. I just love how light and bright and airy these are. They have a very trendy color palette too, which I think is fun. Well, I hope you were inspired by these cards. The clear element is such a fun and unexpected way to add a special touch to your card projects. And don't forget, you can change out the sentiment on this card and make it anything you want. Thank you so much for watching this video. I can't wait to come back and share more with you all. But until I see you again, I hope you have a very wonderful day, and thanks for watching.